What's up, good people? It's your boy Lloyd Knows checking in again. And we're talking about Hard Knocks episode 2 this week. So let's get right to it, man. So if you haven't checked it out, you should already. Shouldn't be waiting on me to check it out. Y'all should just be waiting on me to confirm what you see. So this was what happened, man. This episode was pretty simple for me. I just took, one thing out of it. It was an international episode. If you didn't take that out of it, I don't really know what you took out of it. I mean, obviously, if you're a Cowboy fan, which I'm not, I'm the president of the Cowboy Hate Club, as we talked about in the last episode. But, if you're a Cowboy fan, I guess you took some things out of it. They had a scrimmage with the Rams, which is pretty cool. You got to see AD, the baddest man on the football field, go up against Connor Williams. They had a little fisticuffs. Lifetime Longhorn Connor Williams got the best of AD on that play, so I do salute Connor Williams for that. But other than that, still a Cowboy hater till I die. Anyway, for the most part, I took out of this episode was a little international flavor. Let's keep it real, man. Football is the most important sport in the world. We all know that. In America, it runs the land. We know that for sure. But as football begins to branch out and get international, they've been having games over in London for the past, decade? And now they're trying to, branch out into other places. They're branching out into Mexico. They're branching out into the islands. We already know, the footprint that they have in London. Well, that's what I took out of this episode. Football is becoming international. Obviously, it's the most important game in America, but we know football is the biggest game in the world and the most popular game in the world. But, American football is actually being globalized. So we start out with the D-line coach of the Cowboys, Aiden Dirty. If I'm pronouncing this name right, I'm not gonna say it again. But the D-line coach is British, expat. Not to say expat, but he's British. He's British, okay? He's British. He's from across the water. He's from across the water. I'll say that. But he played in NFL Europe, if I'm not mistaken. And then he had a couple of opportunities for some practice squads, and now he's kind of worked his way up. He was kind of a intern, so to speak, / scout for the Cowboys previously, and now he's worked his way up to D-line coach. And so it's interesting to see his growth and how he's learned the American game and how he's embraced it and how he's now becoming a teacher of the game. And so, just that fact alone, Leon Lett is also the D-line coach of the Cowboys, who everybody who's a Cowboy fan knows Leon Lett. Even if you're not a Cowboy fan, you know who Leon Lett is. Former player himself is also the D-line coach, but I guess the head D-line coach is Coach Dirty, who is of, British royalty. So I just think that's interesting that we get that little international flavor. His accent, his players always mock his British accent, how it's so proper, the pronunciation, how they stress the syllables. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I just found that to be very interesting. Having NFL D lineman coach that was born overseas. It's quite interesting. As one of his players isn't from America either. Mr. Azir Kumar is from the Ivory Coast. Big episode for him. He's got a little shine, kind of a breakout star. I love his mother. His mother is beautiful, man. His mother looks like she was in Coming to America. I swear, man, she looks like African royalty for real, man. I love his mother, man. She has a beautiful smile. And I love Micah Parsons' mom, too. That's one thing I was going to say, too. Micah Parsons' mom and Azir Kumar's mom are precious gems. I love their moms. I love how they just, embrace their son's success. They obviously love their sons, and they are so cheerful of their son's opportunities to play at this stage in the NFL. So I just love the presence and the attitude of the mothers on these episodes. But Azir Kumar, aka Alvin's cousin, right? It's got to be Alvin's cousin, man. How do we not talk about this dude? It's spelled the same way. How is not Alvin Kamara's cousin? I don't know. Y'all need to look into that, but they got to be closely related somehow. But yeah, man, Azir Kumar had a little breakout episode, defensive end, who's, trying to make the team, trying to do his thing from the Ivory Coast again. And it's, just great to see him out here doing his thing. He got a little shine, in that preseason game against the Cardinals. Thought he had a game-winning sack to, clinch the game, but it turns out it wasn't. So, Cowboys ended up losing the game. But, it's still good to see, how him out there, getting an opportunity to try to make the team and, better himself, not having, that, same upbringing as most American football players, He did get a scholarship in high school, I believe, to Kansas is what was said. But, you got to think he didn't start playing football until, maybe he got into high school. Most of these guys were playing in the Little League, if not middle school by then. But so, for him to pick up the game at such a, early age, but not quite early age as it could be, it's great to see him, get an opportunity to try to make an NFL team. And last but not least, Mr. Alicorn, if I'm not pronouncing his name right, I do apologize, from Mexico, offensive lineman. I didn't even know he was from, Mexico until this past episode. They've been showing him, quite a bit throughout the first 2 episodes, just him talking in the background, just trying to figure things out. But, until this past episode, at the end of the game, he was talking to another Arizona Cardinal player who was also from overseas, and them just bonding together, just saying how neither one of us played college football, and now we're both in the NFL, living the dream. I found that to be very, very fascinating, man. This guy's from Mexico, and he hadn't played any college football, and has getting the opportunity to play in the NFL. Hadn't he played any American college football? I don't really know their background. I don't really know if they just went to high school and didn't play for 3 years. Now they're in the NFL. Really don't know their background. Didn't look into it that much. It wasn't even talked about that much. I know Kumar was talked about. He went to Kansas, got a scholarship. But I don't remember them talking about Alicorn's background. But it's just great to see that the NFL is becoming borderless, and they're embracing players from all over the world. They always have. We know there's been international players throughout the years that have played in this league from all over the world. But, it's really, really getting to the point where, they're getting, high caliber players. And, the most popular game in America has got to be without borders. So you would think, if not now, when? So I thought that was the important take out of this episode, was the international success of the players, or the international, ness of the players and the coaches of the Dallas Cowboys, and how they're from all over the world, all different backgrounds, all overseas, just trying to make an American, team in an American game. So that was my take, man. Nothing much. I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. But hit me on the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe, and tune in next week to episode 3, and I'll be checking in hopefully sooner than that. And if you don't know, now Lloyd knows. Peace.